The road to good credit is a disciplined trail. Consistency will be key, but you can't get to where you're going unless you know where you are. So first things first, check your credit report. You can do this annually, free of charge, at annualcreditreport.com. It is best practice to do this at the very least on an annual basis. So much like how you visit a doctor annually for your physical health, check your credit report annually for your credit health. I normally share just the best practice around remembering to do this. Do it every time you file your taxes. This is also a great deterrent for identity theft and accuracy in reporting errors. Many people do use applications like Credit Karma to monitor their credit usage and reporting more frequently. And while the score on creditkarma.com may not be exact, this is still a great tool to monitor usage and how it can impact your score. Dispute errors on your credit report with the credit reporting agencies, and do so directly. Each of the bureaus has a process outlined on their website for how to engage this. So all three of them have a process on their website how to engage this. This process is also detailed when you request your credit report from annualcreditreport.com. And then I think it's always important to ensure you follow up with each bureau after a request has been made. It does typically take around 30 to 45 days to enable processing for a request to remove an item from a credit report. And you want to follow up with those bureaus to make sure that they have done just that. I don't think it's ever too late to begin the journey to better credit or credit repair. Mine began not that long ago at a very similar presentation to the one that we're having today. It was followed with a phone call to Experian Credit Educator 9 years ago, wow, where I spent a scheduled hour over the phone to correct inconsistencies on my report, and just a little bit more on that Experian Credit Educator to share a little bit about my experience 9 years ago. What Experian Credit Educator does, or what it enables, is really a conversation that's scheduled to happen with a consumer over the line. So what Experian will do is give you a representative over the line where you're spending a scheduled hour with a representative going through every line item on your credit report, your spelling of your name, addresses that you've resided at, any inquiries that have been made to your credit report, soft or hard. They'll look at accounts that have been filed, charged off. If accounts are over 7 years old and they should be removed from your credit report, they'll take some time to do that with you as well. Super important to have, who better than the actual credit reporting agency to connect with about your individual credit report. I thought the most eye-opening thing about this particular experience was at the end of our session where we really went through every item on our credit report, on my credit report, and allowed me to see it on screen with them. I thought the most eye-opening part about this experience was at the end of our time together, Experian ran three scenarios for me that they thought would impact my score the greatest, or that they knew rather would impact my score the greatest. And I thought to myself at the time, I had been maintaining this like 690, stagnant 690 credit score. I couldn't break into the 700s. And I thought to myself, wow, you're doing everything right. Like, why hasn't it broken into the 700s? Pay all my bills on time. I pay more than the minimum balance. Everything's kind of scheduled auto pay. I maintain everything at a third. Why haven't I broken into the 700s? And the gentleman that I was working with on the line shared with me, Craig, I can see your payment history on your credit report. You're doing a great job at maintaining it. You're doing all the right things in terms of rules of thumb. Instead of paying that $1,000 that you pay towards your credit cards every month, take $1,000 next month and pay it towards your auto loan. You're going to see a 46-point increase in your credit score. And I thought to myself, well, why is that a thing? Like, I don't understand. And the gentleman shared over the line, it's just simply because of where you are with your auto loan currently. If you pay the $1,000 to it, you will see that 46-point increase. So instead of paying that towards your credit cards this month, pay it towards your auto loan. And he ran 2 other scenarios for me that would also increase my score, but this was the highest one. There was a 46-point, I believe it was a 29-point, and then a 15-point scenario that he ran for me. And I thought to myself, you know what, try it. You know, I don't know why it would make sense to do this, or why it would make sense for your score to increase just as a result of paying this towards your auto loan, but do it. I did it, and I remember the day like it was yesterday. I was sitting at my desk. I got an alert from my creditkarma.com app that said, you know, your score has changed. And I thought to myself, well, what happened? And I went in and I checked, and my score had increased 46 points. I wanted to throw a party. I thought to myself, you know, this gentleman was the best thing that happened since sliced bread. And I quickly followed up that particular practice that he shared, or that particular scenario that he shared for me, with the additional 2 to get really to optimum credit report or optimum credit score for what was my particular scenario. Everyone is different where credit reporting is concerned. So just to share a little bit about my experience with that particular Experian Credit Educator, fantastic tool. You can visit or you know, schedule an appointment with them at Experian.com. They do enable, you know, virtual presentations. You don't have to physically go anywhere, and they'll schedule that hour for you when it's best. And I believe they actually run from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. with that particular credit educator. From this, you know, I really got a better understanding of me, my personal scenario, and knowing and learning that everybody's credit is going to be a little different from person to person. There are fantastic rules of thumb. I've shared them. I shared a lot of them with you today, but each individual does have a unique scenario. So from debt reduction to home purchasing, there are hundreds of reasons and goals to why understanding credit is important. And today is your first step, I believe.